No one would explain the answers to these questions. Bible class never provided me with all the answers. All we were told in church is that we were Gentiles and that the children of Israel are the European Caucasian people we see so frequently today in America. Well, I asked God to show me the answers and give me the knowledge I was desperately seeking. As an African American male in America, I have been through the struggle. As many black people say who have overcome the odds, we all have a story to tell. Holds very true in my case in regards to my life story. It wasn't until I was in my 30s that I started to see the world in a different way. I started to see the suffering of black people in the in America on different scales. 4 to 5 generations post slavery, most blacks are still stuck in time, trying to make it in a country that operates on the premise of white supremacy. On the premise of supremacy. Many of us do not know the secret agendas that are set in place to keep us down and destroy us. Most blacks may not be aware that the American system is designed for us to suffer peacefully. However, blacks are starting to get fed up. We are tired of being mistreated and suppressed. Blacks are speaking up and we are standing up. We are now calling things out for what they are truly are. No more keeping silent. No more turning a blind eye. We are tired of the lies and broken promises. Just as the Haitian African slaves revolted from the French, blacks are starting to revolt. Black pride is coming back, and with that, an awakening. In Israel, Ethiopian Jews have been protesting their rights and the discrimination they face every day while trying to fit in with white European Ashkenazi Jewish culture. In America, blacks are tired of being the victims of police brutality and police killings. From New York, Chicago, Detroit, Missouri, Illinois, South Carolina, and Maryland, black people are coming together to stand up for their rights. Black Lives Matter, in quotations, can be heard from many protesters and black celebrities, but there is a new awakening that is happening. A Hebrew Israelite awakening. Blacks have been researching their past history going back further into time before the 1600s and found out how fascinating connections to the slave trades and the biblical children of Israel. It has amazed me how fast blacks and Latinos are waking up to their heritage going further back into their history before slavery or the invasion of lands by the Europeans. For years, we have been taught to accept what we have been called by Europeans. We are no longer accepting the term African American, Latino, Spanish, Haitian, Jamaican, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Dominican, Nigerian, Ghanaian, Mexican, Brazilian, and so on. These are all titles given to us by the same people who enslaved our ancestors and colonized their lands. History for us did not begin with the 1500s and slavery. Many people have been wondering why history books and classes will not venture past this time period. Why? Because if we dig too deep in the past, we will find out our true heritage. What people are realizing is that before there was an island called Hispaniola, or a continent called Africa, or countries like Nigeria, Benin, Cameroon, and Ghana, there was just land. In this land, there were kingdoms and tribes of different ethnicities. Some of these kingdoms and tribes consisted of the ancestors of the biblical Hebrew Israelites, not Jews, but Hebrew Israelites, who practiced the Mosaic law or Karaite. Judaism. These Israelites did not have the appearance of our typical European Ashkenazi or Sephardic Jew we commonly see today. These Israelites were encountered when when they landed on the land. These Israelites were people of color. Yes, they were indigenous people the European explorers encountered when they landed on the land now known as the Americas, Africa, Puerto Rico, Haiti, Cuba, and the Dominican Republic. How did this happen? West Africans are exploring and researching their old manuscripts. They are talking to their elders or grandparents about their passed down laws, heritage, and culture. They are making the connection as to where these strange Judaic type laws and customs have come from. They are remembering how their elders set aside a certain day for rest. They are questioning why they have Hebrew Old Testament names, why they circumcise, name their children on the eighth day. They are wondering why they restrain from cutting their children's hair until they are 7, and why they perform sacrifices once a year or on new moon days. They are asking themselves, why do we pour our liberations to the gods? Many of these indigenous people remember that their elders once told them as kids that they were descendants of the children of Israel. Surprisingly, they are finding out that they may in fact have been Israelite ancestry. But how can that be? If the white Caucasian European Jews make up over 85% of the world Jewry, then how can there be black Hebrew Israelites, Jews from Africa? How can the Native Americans or natives of the Caribbean be also Hebrew Israelites? How can a white couple have a black African looking baby? Can white people turn black in the sun? Can black people turn white from the lack of sunlight? No, of course not. But these are the answers that many Jews today will tell us to justify their being white Jews and just a collection 1% of black Ethiopian Jews. In America, with DNA testing, African Americans are finding out what country they are from, despite slavery disconnecting us from knowing anything about ourselves. Blacks with the age of the internet are now able to download books online, tune into alternative news, watch educational documentary videos from other people, and also research vast amounts of information in regards to the ancient Hebrew Israelites in comparison to the European Ashkenazi Jews in Israel today. With the internet, you can gain access to the English translations of the Greek Septuagint Bible, the Aramaic Bible, the Hebrew Mekon Bible, and so on. Reading these books and using them for comparison to the King James Bible can also be interesting when it comes to inaccuracies. After having all these tools of research at the tips of your fingertips, it is easy to see how black people are waking up in America. God is working in mysterious ways to wake each and every one of us. Other races are also waking up to this newfound knowledge, but many of us are still asleep. My mission from God is to wake up black America. The signs of the times are evident, and God is pouring out knowledge on those whom He has selected to receive it. Forever, for over centuries, black slaves were not allowed to learn how to read or write. After slavery ended, white America still feared what would happen if blacks were able to get an education and apply for jobs. God forbid if blacks were allowed to have access to libraries. Now, with the age of the internet, Blacks now have access to an abundance of information. The internet, which was created for Americans by our government, now has the potential to sabotage the NWO agenda of an all controlling government. It also allows blacks to research about their real heritage and not just the notion of being a Negro or African American. This was also predicted by former slave owner Willie Lynch. Our quotations, our experts warned us about the possibility of this phenomenon occurring, for they say that the mind has a strong drive to correct and recorrect itself over a period of time if it can touch some substantial original historical base. And they advise us that the best way to deal with this phenomenon is to shave off the brute's mental history and create a multiplicity of phenomena of illusions. Willie Lynch letter. With all that's going on in Black America, this identity awakening is heaven sent. It can only strengthen Black America and explain why for centuries we have been the victims of constant oppression. In Black America, racial tensions is high, police brutality against blacks is high, joblessness is high, education is low, incarceration rates for black men, women is high, mental illness is high, autism, ADHD rates is high in the black boys, unemployment is high, unity is low, health problems in the black community is high, broken fatherless families is high, homosexuality, bisexuality in the black community is high, substance abuse is high, marriage rates in black women is low, black divorce is high, fertility rates is low, and spiritual confusion is high. If there's anything that can turn this around, it is God. But first, we have to turn from our wicked ways and come back to Him. We must have eyes to see and ears to hear the message the Lord is trying to spread to us in these last and evil days. The Bible says, Hosea 4 6 through 7, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I also forgotten thy children. Daniel 12:4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. For all this time we have been without knowledge, and we have been regarding the Bible, and we have been reading the Bible, but not reading it with understanding. The Bible says this too will change. Proverbs 1:23. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you.